It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Let's get out of here. Aye.
Hey everybody, it's Brother Aaron from Got a Minute. We got a rapture timing speculation and thoughts, and we're going to piggyback off of Caleb's age. We've known this for a while. This was my kind of like thing where it's like, oh man, okay, Caleb was 85 years old, according to Joshua 14, when he asked to inherit his land after they crossed the Jordan. I think he crossed the Jordan when he was 78. We'll go through that together. And after the 40 years, they were in the wilderness. So let's go through that, and we'll talk about what my thoughts are on the rapture, timing in general, and types and shadows of things. And we might talk about this more as we go. So Israel, 85 years old in 2033, 32, 33 going into that time frame. And 78, Israel's 78 in 2026, more or less. So rapture in this zone time. Remember, also Psalm 77 going into 78, right at the end of Psalm 77 seemed to be really rapture language. And then Psalm 85, it's all about God, Jesus restoring the land of Jacob and coming with justice and peace. It's amazing. Psalm 85 is so good for second coming themes. But look at Caleb's age. So Caleb's age perfectly matches Psalm 78 and 85 with the theme of the rapture and the second coming. So let's go through some Bible verses and kind of clarify what we found here. And okay, Joshua 14 verse 4. I'll zoom in. Before we even talk about Caleb, it says, talks about the Levites, and I believe that's a type and shadow of the raptured group. For the children of Joseph were two tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, and they gave no part to the Levites in the land except cities to dwell in with their common lands for their livestock and their property. I think the Levites are a type of the raptured group because I believe that we are the offering to the Lord on Rapture Day. Let me show you why. In Revelation 1 verse 6, he has made us kings and priests to his God and Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. So he's talking to the churches here, kings and priests. And we also see this before the seals are open. And this is Revelation 10 verse 5. And has made us kings and priests to our God. And we shall reign on the earth. So we will be kings and priests reigning with God. And we'll be there in the throne room before he opens the first seal. Now the Levites in Numbers 8 were the priests. And what does it say in Numbers 8? The Levites are a tenufa offering, or wave offering to the Lord. And it says over here in Numbers 8:19, and I have given the Levites, so these are the priests, as a gift to Aaron. And Aaron is a type of Christ in this moment because he was the high priest, and Jesus is our high priest according to the book of Hebrews. And anyway, so the Levites are a gift. Well, we are a gift to Jesus. We're a gift to the Father. And even over here in Numbers 8:21, and the Levites purified themselves and washed their clothes, and Aaron presented them like a wave offering or a tenufa offering before the Lord. So Aaron, the high priest, Jesus is our high priest who is presenting us to the Lord as a wave offering. And that same offering is found in Leviticus 23, talking about the wave offering. Those two wave loaves are the wave offering, the tenufa offering. So I believe Jesus, our high priest, is offering us as the priesthood to the Father on Rapture Day. And that's part of the reason why, if we go back to Joshua, that's part of the reason why the Levites don't have land. I think that's a type and shadow of the church dwelling with God in heaven. We don't need no land. We don't need no land, man. We with Jesus upstairs, man. Okay, so I think that is a type of the rapture group. So the Levites are talked about first, and then in Joshua 14 we have all these numbers. It's pretty straightforward. It's not too complicated. It says here in Joshua 14 verse 10 that I'm 85 years old now. Like give me some. Let me inherit this land. So this is when Caleb inherits Hebron. So there's some more math here. It says, I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land. So if you do some math, you can find that that's in the second year. So you can figure that out, that Caleb was 78 years old when they would have crossed the Jordan. Here, I'll show you the chart again. So I'll zoom out and show you what we got here. So we've got the mention of the Levites, which I think is a picture of the raptured group. Then we have Caleb. Remember, there was 2 spies that came back with a good report in Numbers 13. It was Joshua and Caleb. I think those spies could represent the Jew and the Gentile that has faith in Jesus Christ. So the people that are coming out of that tribulation are those that are in faith with Christ and that have gotten through the 7 years somehow. We know that Israel will be protected for part of the tribulation, and if anybody makes it in Gentile-wise, and lives to actually see the second coming, those, I think Joshua and Caleb could represent those groups. And so Deuteronomy 2 verse 14, it mentions that. We see that here. I'll go over there. Here it is. At the time we took to come from Kadesh Barnea until we crossed over the valley of Zered was 38 years. Kadesh, according to Numbers 13, when they spied out the land, was, well, that's exactly it. It says that right here. Numbers 13, verse 26. Now they departed and came back to Moses and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. So this happened 2 years into it. So, and then in Numbers 14, it's since there was a lot of people that didn't have faith, there was a punishment, a day for a year for your punishment. So in Numbers 14, 33 and 34, and your sons shall be shepherds in the wilderness 40 years and bear the brunt of your infidelity until the carcasses are consumed in the wilderness, according to the number of the days in which you spied out the land, 40 days. For each day you shall bear your guilt 1 year, namely 40 years. And you shall know my rejection. So those are some verse references, but what's the whole point of this? Let me just kind of paraphrase what I kind of just said here. So of course you can read, there's more verses to help out with this, but essentially they left Egypt right here, then they spied out the land in the 2nd year, then there was 38 more years, and to a total of 40 years in the wilderness. It looks like they probably crossed the Jordan in around 78, and then they would have had about 7 years of war in Jericho there, and then they would have actually inherited their land in Psalm 80, not Psalm 85, but it parallels Psalm 85, but when Caleb was 85. And could this match the age of Israel? I think it's pretty good. The age of Caleb, like I said, perfectly matches the Psalms. And Psalm 78 is really a long psalm about how Jesus, God, took them out of Egypt, and it's a review of their rebellion. And so this is basically almost like a perfect picture of Jacob's trouble at that point. So, but again, it mentions the Levites in Joshua 14 verse 4 before it talks about Caleb inheriting the land, and I think that's a type of the church, and that's mentioned in Joshua 14 verse 4. So we're hoping rapture here in this zone, and we don't know. We never know. It's always a speculation. But I've always said I think we're going to find the patterns in the Bible in some way, shape, or form. Who knows when it's going to happen? Are you ready? Are you tight with Christ? Look at the world. Look at how it's going. It's getting nuts. Israel's getting nuts. All the players, Ezekiel 38 and 39, seem to be coming together. So all we can do is watch and speculate and consider things. So get tight with Christ. At the end of the day, I want the maximum amount of people on the ark as possible. And I want you to get tight with Christ. So Romans 10, 9 through 13 is the best place to refer to for salvation. I think it's one of the best places to start anyway. So believe in what he did on the cross nearly 2,000 years ago and read Romans 10, 9 through 13. And I hope to see you in the crowds very soon. Well, one day closer. Go Jesus, go. Adios, muchachos.